plant is Callistemon citrinus Little John, and this is a fairly popular, relatively new introduction, at least is in my understanding. I've probably seen it around since 2005 or so, but this is a great versatile dwarf plant that takes low water and the deer leave it alone. So very useful landscape plant in California and places like California where you have fairly low water, dry conditions, and also if you have deer. Secondly, as you can see here, the flowers are very showy and actually show up much of the year, at least in our area. I'm in a inland valley in Northern California where it gets quite hot during the summer in the 90s and 100, and it can get down in the teens in the winter, and that's kind of the low end of what this plant will tolerate is 15 degrees Fahrenheit plus or minus is what I read about it. So in design, you can see it here used as a mass planting, and these are about 4 feet tall. And they're rated at kind of 5 feet wide. This is a big mass, so it's hard to say, but that's my experience as I see them about 5 feet wide or so. But in design, I see people use these as hedges as well. I've seen them in some commercial applications where they were planted and used as kind of a 3-foot wide hedge and 3 feet tall. The thing that I'd say about that is they don't look great when they're pruned too tight, so you want to leave them in an area where you don't have to keep them any tighter than 3 feet by 3 feet, in my opinion. If you do that, you're likely to have to over prune those, and one of my neighbors has that situation and it looks pretty bad. A lot of the exposed wood that's not going away is showing, so there's that to consider. The maintenance otherwise is little or no maintenance in a group planting like you see here. These are great on hillside plantings or in mass plantings where you don't want too much height but you want some color. These flowers are very hummingbird friendly. You're going to see a hummingbird right there, and the whole time I was filming this plant, that hummingbird was hanging around, and there were 2 or 3 others as well, so they're great for that. And as I said, they're deer resistant too. Once they're established, they're very low water, and you could establish these on drip irrigation, no problem, and they're pretty tolerant of a lot of soils as well as seaside conditions, which is nice. I also see them listed as kind of fire-scaping, so if you've got situations where fire is a potential problem, then they can be used as in that way as well, probably in Southern California on the hillsides. Some nice companion plants with this might be Vitex agnus, the chaste tree, Salvia leucantha, Mexican sage, Aloe arborescens, Leonotis leonurus, the lion's tail with the orange flowers. And yeah, those are some nice ones. Euryops with the yellow, as well as Hypericum mausoranum, another deer-resistant plant with some yellow for some contrast. So those are some nice plants to pair this with to get some year-round color, and also deer-resistant with some lower water. The other thing is the bloom cycle. Now these that you see here are on the campus at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo, and these were taken in December, so you can see a full bloom in the middle of winter. Now these are listed as blooming in spring and summer, but my experience is I see these blooming at all times of the year. So depending on where you are, that's kind of a mixed bag. Even here where I am in Northern California, they are blooming in winter as well. And by the way, these should be planted in full sun to do their best and would prefer good drainage. So if you put them on a slope and have heavier soils, you'll probably be okay. Or if you're just in sandier soils, they'll be fine. So that's what I can tell you about Callistemon citrinus Little John. Excellent mid-sized evergreen shrub with lots of color and throughout the year depending on where you are.